Game Freak. Hire these guys. They get Pokemon, and honestly, I wish they waited a bit longer before exposing themselves. Like, could you imagine days of this madness? These starter Pokemon have split the community like no other fakes I've seen before because they looked real. Whoever made them did their homework, they put in the extra credit, they probably scored some college credit as well because they looked good. Like, normally, when you're breaking down a Fakemon or some random thing that's posted on 4chan and turns out to be garbage, there's a flaw to it. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel like a real Pokemon. There's a concept art flaw. There's something wrong with it that just immediately makes it feel fake. But you couldn't get that with this. They felt simultaneously real and fake. So it's kind of crazy that, they turned out to be fake, and we have an article about it. So I'm happy to go into the interview about this one because it's pretty cool. Now, we do know that these are the leakers that have dropped the information because this is coming from 50 Shades of Heliolisk, a Facebook group. And as you can see, this isn't the print. This isn't the scan. This isn't what was posted to 4chan. This is the high quality art that has to come from some source file. So they have the source file, and then that kind of shows that these are the originators. So that's something pretty interesting right there. Now, the thing about these starters is that they captivated me. So much so that I was going to release a video later today breaking down some of the art inconsistencies that I've noticed. That coming from the official art book, there's like these little rosettes and printing patterns. But then when we look at like the water starter Pokemon, he has it the worst. Also, I scroll down on my video trying to scroll down into the actual file. You can actually see that there's a lot of noise on this guy. That this seems like a low quality print, and even if this is coming from like a translation team, or if it's not from like the same printing press or the same printing material as the official art book, it still seems like a little off in how low quality it is with all that noise and not having any kind of pattern that might help against like forgeries or anything that would potentially be leaked. So that was a little questionable right there. I made a video about it. If you want to watch it, you can find the unlisted one in the description below, I guess, because I think it was a pretty interesting video, and they turned out to be fake. So let's go and break down what's going on right here. Unfortunately, for all those who wanted to get their hands on these Pokemon, including us, unfortunately, we have bad news. It is Fakemon, created by Leopold Spain in 50 Shades of Heliolisk, an Italian designer passionate about the Nintendo world. Leopold has kept everyone on their toes, even us. As a gift to stem the displeasure, he gave us a fantastic interview that reveals all the background. Now, this is what I'm interested in. I want to know the creation behind how these are so good looking. Because, like, now this is also going to spawn a lot more fakes and stuff, but it takes someone very special to be able to create something that looks this real. And it's also one guy. I thought it was a team. I was looking at this thinking maybe to kind of replicate the organic feel that we get with like the actual real concept art, that there's multiple people working on this. We've seen groups tackle fake leaks before, but this one is something else. Question 1. One of the things that has struck most of the Fakemon is their appearance. What were you inspired by their design? Is there a common thread that binds them? There's never been logical connections between the starter and the region. Yes! This is why it was successful. This is why the guy made a good Fakemon, and a lot of people believed it, like more than most, because he wasn't trying to read a pattern. He didn't go in with some kind of like agenda to create something that people would buy. He wanted to create something natural, and that's how you do it. You don't fish for the patterns. You don't, fabricate something that actually doesn't have a correlation. He just wanted to make a platypus Pokemon. Psyduck doesn't matter. Chinese Zodiac for the fire types. I still feel that this Chinese Zodiac thing is like a really weak theory for the most part to actually like predict fire starter Pokemon and stuff. But I mean, again, it helps with the believability, so I could be some right there. The lemur arrived alone, a momentary inspiration that convinced me that still makes it my favorite among the three. Creating new drawings take time, especially a project of this kind. How did you create the artwork from a technical point of view? Have you studied the sketches of previously revealed Pokemon related to Incineroar, Decidueye, Primarina? I was obviously inspired by the tables of the famous Chinese leaks. I think now's a good time to note that this is a Google translated article, so some of the grammar's gonna be a little funky, but I've read many comments that flaunted this alleged my desire to copy the format, when very simply is the style of concept art Game Freak are having maintaining the 3 generations. In general, this style I wanted to follow, not that of Decidueye and his companions in particular. So just kind of looking at the concept art, this is why I looked into what James Turner is up to, because he talked a little bit as to how the actual concept art works, and that, him writing in English isn't anything out of the ordinary, so you can actually get insight into what is going on with the Pokemon concept art, and that's where you'll find more and more success. Let's move to a salient point. When and why did you get the idea of creating Fakemon? Are these drawings created for the occasion, or are they works that you've been thinking about for a while. The idea of Pokemon Lemur or Platypus has always attracted me, and I've always wanted one. In fact, when the 7th generation was announced, Passimian, I was very happy. For the artwork of this lemur, I tried to keep the idea of basic animal, but trying to detach myself from the known design of a Lowlands colleague. So not trying to make it too much like Passimian, but still wanting some kind of lemur Pokemon to do its own thing. And that is kind of cool that it's not that he went in to create fake art or Fakemon or like something that's going to fool people. He's just like, well, I've been wanting to make this particular fan art, but the style of the concept art is really cool. So let's go and try that out. As anticipated, Leopold has privately informed us the nature of his artwork. For this reason, we preferred sparking debate by divulging into additional details. That's interesting. I'm wondering what else he added to that. Like, did he not want to actually confirm that it was to promote his Facebook page or something once the information comes out? I don't know. But is it always possible to distinguish false leak from true news? In this case, was it possible to do it? That is something to kind of do. We do not hide that there's great minutia that made it particularly difficult to give certain judgment on the trio. We believe that there were some details noticed by careful observers that could unmask the leak. We report that, in our opinion, the most obvious ones, all images have a good resolution. That was actually what I started breaking down in this video, because like, even if, you know, like say like someone got the file, they printed it out and they scanned it from the translation and they tried to do it, then why isn't the garbage, where is it? Yeah, I have like the picture up. Why isn't it the garbage quality that we saw from the previous leaks? They were just a little too good, but then they also had noise inside of them and a poor print quality, so that looked a little weird to me. Fakemon appear to be particularly detailed, assuming the game development for a long time. One of the legs on the platypus lacks a stain, not present in the other drawings. I disagree with that, because yeah, there's like a little circle right here on the platypus for his foot, but it's missing there. If you look at the Poplio concept art, Poplio has like little fingers or like white lines that kind of show a split in his fins. That's only on some of the art and not all of it. So if anything, that makes it feel more organic. That makes it feel more real, like a concept art, and then written with different alphabets. That was a big one, but it was also shown in the Kartana concept art. So I'm wondering if we're going to get something on the interview that kind of breaks that down. Oh, also like looking at the concept sketches, dude, this guy knows how to make good Fakemon. I love it. So that's so cute. I would have wanted the fire bunny Pokemon. And as you noticed in my last video when I was covering how these could be fake, but they look real, and this is just kind of the new news that's going on right now, I didn't put my emotions into it. I didn't go, I want this guy to be real, therefore it's more likely to be real, or, oh, this really feels like a good Pokemon I want to play with. You know, I didn't bring the emotions in to create some kind of garbage that's now going to be a deleted video, because, oh no, they turned out to be fake, and I all end on them potentially being real. But they could be fake though, so don't get your hopes up. You know, we don't need that garbage in the community. We need fun. This is fun, breaking it down. It's not necessarily anti-fun to go, don't believe it until it's confirmed. But hey, community is just pretty garbage right now. So, given the speed with the Fakemon spread, we asked our Leopold how to proceed not to be discovered and what he can tell us from the point of view of a designer, fake leaks of what he believes for us Pokemon on the Switch. Pretty interesting. In a few hours, drawings have particularly gone around the web. On the subject of fake news, we would like to ask what precautions you took not to be discovered, and as a designer, what you think are the main points to analyze and find fakes. Basically, I've accumulated all the previous knowledge I've learned over the years, fake, image quality, style of drawing, written in Japanese, for which I thank Simone Puzilla for indispensable help. So maybe having like extra translators to kind of give it that different feel to it. I made some mistakes thinking in retrospect, like some detail in badly reproduced design. Perhaps in hindsight, I should not use scans, but normal pictures to not alarm appropriately someone to high quality of alleged leak. That kind of happened right there. Last one. Do you think you went close to design of the next starting Pokemon? Tell us shortly what you expect for the next companions of the future. I would really like to know that. Whatever some say, I find Game Freak for design of Pokemon has always managed to keep original and creative. So I have no idea what the next starter might be. The only thing I can afford to put a little more trust in is the rabbit for the unofficial question of the Chinese zodiac, even if I would not mind seeing a fire ox. I guess that's what people were doing for like the previous one. See, maybe that's where he slipped up. He was also trying to find that little bit of extra pattern, and then I don't think you need to fall into the Chinese zodiac. I want the next fire starter to not have anything to do with this Chinese zodiac. Let's see where that goes. Still on the subject of fakes and fake news, from our point of view, we believe in general there are several fixed points to observe carefully, especially in the last period, which the fictitious info has increased tenfold. These are now elements that give certainty about real nature of a text or photo, but they can help extricate themselves on the jungle of anonymous posts. So actually now, this is actually good. Taking all the information, taking the, off the record conversation that he had with Leopold, and just kind of saying, here's how you can spot a fake. And that's kind of what I was doing, This was one of the more captivating fakes. So now it's like, they're going to get even worse. Like, that's why I named my last video, Pokemon Leaks Are Evolving. Because with all the failures that we've seen, with the increased just growth of knowledge. Like the Pokemon Company released an art book. We had the actual art being leaked months before we had any knowledge about the game and stuff. It was crazy what we were dealing with. So because of that, it's going to be bad. If the image, if it is images, it's always good to keep an eye on their resolution. Those that are disclosed as confidential information, their self-styled leaker cannot risk being discovered or being caught, so they're not able to get perfect photos. That's why I covered my other video. Sketches show Pokemon, their characteristics may not be extremely detailed, but at least for what concerns the images, confidential. It is rare that they are completely lacking shadows, colors, or excessively sketchy, too dissimilar from Pokemon style. I don't think we had too much of a problem with that one, though, or with these leaks. Providing a lot of information, does not imply telling the truth. Rather, possible among them is misdirection. That was another thing. I think there was too much information. That was actually one thing I ended up pointing out, because if you look at all the other concept art, it doesn't say front and back. So maybe just giving a little too much information, maybe making it seem a little more detailed, because we're dealing with game developers that have been making Pokemon for over 20 years. Or, at least the Game Freak team, they have a lot more experience. I don't need to be told that this is what Brion looks like when it's facing me, and this is what Brion looks like swimming looking away. So just gotta keep it simple for the extra details that need to be said, instead of saying too much. And that's maybe where this guy had a big stumbling point. And then also, lastly, it's obvious that you committed an infraction, you're going to lose your job. So it's really risky. You can't just freely find and throw out fakes like this. So that was something that, the quality, yeah, maybe that was one way of busting it. But after the starter leaks, it feels like anything's possible. Game Freak could have learned, but the actual leakers could have learned and developed as well. So that makes things pretty crazy. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A fun breakdown, an interview with one of the best Fakemon artists we have seen so far. And that's kind of what I have to say about it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.